So I'd like to introduce Jeremy Helfand, who is the Vice President of Adobe Primetime. Jeremy is a veteran of the industry with 20 years of experience. We've been covering what you've been up to for quite a while. You were in charge of shaping infrastructure, strategy, and technology around profitable, advertising-driven businesses. As the former CEO of Attitude, it's great, which was acquired by Adobe in 2011, Jeremy was responsible for the overall implementation of video ad management and monetization technologies for premium publishers and media companies. Following the Attitude acquisition, he now serves as Vice President of Video Solutions at Adobe, leading the global go-to-market strategies for the company's video publishing, advertising, and data management solutions. Thank you very much. Come on up.
Tracy.
Yeah.
I think there it is. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning on behalf of Adobe. We're very proud to be here and looking forward to a full day of content and great conversation. So this West Coast guy got up early this morning, so I'm looking for a little bit of audience participation. So I'm going to say something, you repeat it, okay? Give the people what they want. Oh, come on now. Give the people what they want. One more time. Give the people what they want. All right, here we go. So, how many of you remember the 1982 hit from the Kinks, Give the People What They Want? Anyone? Am I dating myself? Okay. Well, we're not actually talking about the Kinks here this morning. What we're talking about is, in this case, TV everywhere and TV's digital renaissance, which is transforming television as we know it. And the Adobe and our Adobe Primetime platform, very proud to be working with broadcasters and pay TV providers and ecosystem partners in order to help enable this transformation of TV that is taking place as we know it. Today, the industry is making huge strides over the last 12 to 24 months with respect to TV everywhere. But the expectation of the consumer is rapidly rising. And so today, throughout the conference, we'll learn about the various business and technical elements that talk about the transformation of television. And I want to offer a little bit of a different perspective this morning, which is we really need to look at TV everywhere and the opportunity of TV everywhere from the consumer perspective. We need to put the viewer at the center of how we approach TV everywhere in order to truly take advantage of the opportunity. And I kind of feel like I'm in the way, so, but I've got this pole here. So who remembers the television looked like this? I remember my first music video watching, I think it was, I'm not going to remember, but on MTV, and my grandparents had a Zenith clicker that you click this clicker, and it literally clicked something that drove a vibration that changed the channel. But the consumer behavior is fundamentally changing around how content wants to be consumed. And today what I wanted to do is share a little proprietary data, and it shows just how rapidly content consumption is changing. Authenticated content that historically has been reserved for the television as we know it, now being put behind an authentication wall, is seeing rapid growth. Just in the 3 quarters of this year, we have seen 240% increases in the amount of content that is being accessed via an authentication process. Content that historically started as in a live event here or there, now is becoming mainstream as more live and on-demand content is being made available by programmers and pay TV providers, making apps available to consumers. Device consumption is a major driver of TV everywhere usage. The tablet, which didn't even exist 3.5 years ago, is now driving significant television everywhere consumption. In the third quarter of this year, tablet viewing grew 150% over the previous year. and is the fastest growing device for content consumption, only followed by the smartphone, and somewhat at the expense of the desktop, which is slightly declining. So a device that didn't exist a few years ago now has become the dominant form for viewing television everywhere. More than half of all content consumed online is happening on the tablet. And so who knows what the next device will be and how the industry will have to evolve in order to meet the expectation of the consumer. And when we look at the penetration of TV everywhere inside of pay TV households, one of the things that's really interesting is that while TV everywhere has been around for some time, just in the last 9 months of this year, in the first 9 months of this year, penetration into pay TV households has doubled for TV everywhere usage. And so you are seeing rapid acceleration of TV everywhere. The challenge is that the consumer's expectation is significantly rising. And so to meet the need of the consumer, today's TV everywhere experience will not meet the need of that consumer on the right. And so what I want to offer is a mandate for TV everywhere, which is to look at this from the consumer perspective and address 4 main areas. The first is simplicity. The second, content ubiquity, discovery, and personalization. If we as an industry address these issues, these opportunities, look at the opportunity from the consumer perspective, we have an opportunity to meet the rising consumer expectation and take TV everywhere to the next level. Let's look at each one a little bit further. Simplicity. So I think we all agree, the easier you make it for a consumer to do something, the more of it they will do, right? I think back to my direct response advertising days, my early digital days, and you saw 100-fold increases in conversion rate when you remove steps for the consumer to have to go to the purchase through the purchase process. Same thing, think about Amazon. Recommendations, personalization, one-click buying makes you want to buy more. So why not TV everywhere? When you turn on your television, do you have to enter in your username and password in order to get access to your content? No, of course not. But that's what we make consumers do today in order to get access to their favorite content. And so we really need to remove the consumer from the authentication process to get access to their favorite content. There's plenty of opportunity for the authentication process to happen, but let's remove the consumer from it so they can immediately get access to their favorite content. The 2012 Summer Olympics, perfect example where auto authentication was used by the industry, and it saw a significant impact in being able to give consumers what they wanted more immediately. And in instances where we've seen with our Adobe Pass product, which is our auto authentication solution used by most of the industry, what we've seen is that authentication rates increase by almost 50% by removing the consumer from that process and immediately giving them access. So we need to greatly simplify the consumer experience. Authentication is one example. The second is around content ubiquity. And when you think about the consumer, they don't differentiate anymore between one screen or another. Their expectation is that the content they get on one screen is going to be available on another. And so why would content on one screen not be available to the other? And so the concept of content ubiquity is really about how do we make sure that all content is available on all screens at the same time? And that is the expectation of the consumer. That's the expectation of that 13-year-old girl you saw sitting there watching TV on her device. And content ubiquity will really help to drive increased consumption of television everywhere content for the industry. The third mandate is around discovery. Why isn't there a digital program guide? Why, when you go to your linear TV today, is it just linear and it doesn't provide recommendations to you about what content is available? So think about, instead of having a static EPG that only shows you linear, think about it from the perspective, how do we provide a learning, adaptive discovery mechanism that enables you to have personalized content? Today, you're relying on either putting apps onto your home screen or having really good social friends that have great taste in content. And so think about Facebook meets Amazon meets Pandora. How do you bring social awareness and machine learning and personalization together? The EPG experience, the discovery experience, needs to be personalized and needs to be specific for the individual. And then lastly, personalization, which I promised you the N on my screen was at the end of personalization, not on, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, for those of you who traveled from outside today, New York, and stayed in a hotel, how many of you, instead of going to good old LodgeNet, actually looked at your content on your pay TV service app? Okay, so we're seeing more of that, but the opportunity is really to make the television experience portable, to make it available the way you want it, and to have that experience follow you where you go. And so we like to call it the 360-degree experience, where you may start watching content on your television at home and then take it with you and finish watching it on your tablet or whatever your mobile device of choice. Your mobile device really becomes your portable set-top box.